So this is the whole notion. And then, because we are in this information age, we surely want Nepal's people to jump into this information age by just leapfrogging, from a oral tradition society into this information society. And there is such apprehension that how this virtual world is going to work, because the information world is kind of a virtual world, right? We are talking about virtual teaching. Teacher is in USA and a student is in Nepal and that kind of thing. How this virtual environment can work? And there is so much apprehension. What I want to say is that when telephony may have come in the beginning, people might have said the same thing. How that is good enough? We have to meet together and talk or something like that. Today, when we talk to somebody on telephone, we never think that we are far apart. We accepted that as real, right? Yesterday's virtual becomes today's real. Similarly, these all kinds of, like even Skype and all kinds of mechanisms, they have gone to even Nepal, some places in Nepal. These mothers are talking to children, they are going to Australia and United States, they think that they are talking to real son in front, standing in front, So, there is nothing virtual when there is access, there is trust, and there is meaning. Because when the mother is talking to the son, it is real talk, it is not fake talk, there is meaning to it. That is why when access, trust, and meaning meet, there will be participation. The way Dr. Khatar was telling that little children were accessing all kinds of websites, yes, everybody with personal computer will have access. The same thing will happen to Nepal. Information revolution will happen. That's what we believe. So that is why we have this vision of bringing together the need that exists in Nepal, this connecting part, and the policies of government of Nepal, because we are not trying to just steer Nepal somewhere, okay, you change your policies, and we are not trying to give some kind of lecture to government of Nepal. In fact, government of Nepal has already recognized open and distance education as a very important means to take education to rural people. Already it has recognized. So it is perfectly coherent to government's policies. And similarly, we are not actually trying to eat something, the pie on the sky, Some other people have already feasting on that pie. So, we are bringing people like Dr. Panikut and all scholars around the world. We will go to them and we want to learn from them how it has been eaten, and we want to actually eat the way they are eating. So that is what it is about. And also the experiences that we have accumulated all around the world that can be taken. Actually, I can speak the language that my villagers speak in exact same accent. In fact, I wanted to learn English accent and all of that, it hasn't worked. The accent still is the same as that my village's accent, So, we have a real capacity to carry knowledge to the village, to the way those people can understand. And that is why I want to consider this Open University of Nepal as something. I consider that as a big vessel, this institution as a big vessel that is collecting the water of this knowledge, experience of that is scattered around the world. And I consider that this cloud, we are this little particles of cloud, and then finally making that rain, collecting that, and taking to this desert, knowledge desert, and then planting this little, sprouting this little seedling, such a way that tomorrow there will be forest, not of desert. And it will be land of plenty of knowledge. That is what is my vision, But now you may say that, Nepal doesn't have electricity, my villagers are living under this kerosene lamp still, and there is no telecommunication in my village, and there are no data servers in Nepal. Which of my villagers, carpenters, children are carrying laptops with them, or neither there is vast amount of literacy or learning community, or even forget about computer literacy, even the general literacy we are talking about. Where is innovation? But most of all, where are those green dollars to bring all of that? That is the question That comes to everyone's mind. However, we are completely aware of, we are not just running around with this kind of passion, not knowing that, we are not in cloud nine. In fact, we know that and we have to solve it. And imagine we have computers, we have internet, we have all kinds of electricity. Does that bring knowledge automatically? No, it is very complex. Does that build institutions? No. It is very complex, much more complex than that. In fact, the totality of making this institution happen is more complex than having electricity or telecommunication facility or buying a computer. In fact, those I consider as an even minor issue. In fact, the major issue are how we are going to build the foundation for such an enduring institution. There are a whole lot of things I wanted to talk about. Today is not the right day for that. We will talk in other forums. But today I just want to plant this seed of suspicion in all of your minds so that today we can deliberate, we can bring a lot of ideas and then we can then re-deliberate again and again. But how? Where are these people who can execute this task? And then how it can be executed? How the plans can be developed? How the detailed plans can be developed? How it can be architected? And then what these tool technologies, how they can be combined and all kinds of things, And then where is the devotion? How any enduring or any project can translate into an institutional system. So that how we can institutionalize and how we can survive through transformation of time, survive through ages. So these are the things we would like to deliberate on. In fact, I don't have to tell that the scale of problem that we are talking about is very huge from the perspective of Nepal. Imagine United States. We consider the Apollo mission of the United States as one of the greatest feat in human history. I just want to take you to this US history. Look at that. In 1783, they had completed American Revolution, right? And then by 1825, most of the railway lines of the United States were built by that time. They were running all these railway lines were full of people. And then 1865, they had not only found petroleum, but they had also built pipelines from the wells to the railway stations, so that can be taken to refineries and then it could be refined. They had gone that far. And then in 1876, telephone was invented. And then look at all the history. But look at Nepal, what is happening. In 1637, Nepal was building, 1768, it was building that kind of temple, so sophisticated architecturally, but it had gone to destitution. And today, even the revolution is not complete because just our president was telling that Nepal's politicians couldn't agree on anything, and then still there is something called Okarmanne. That's what I want to say in Nepali. It's called some kind of hanging, in nowhere. That's what is Nepal. So Nepal has not really even made up to that point. So we are in that kind of situation, we are trying to take something that is even more complicated than doing a Apollo mission. That's what I say. In fact, it is more complex and more challenging. However, what I would like you to understand is that this, although it is a very big and challenging problem, it is not insurmountable problem either. Look at what is Nepal in a country of poverty and like that. So many things happen at a very dirt cheap price. Nepal, 3 times the Nepal's education and sports budget combined amounts to 3 times that amounts to only a city of Ottawa. It's a tiny city in Canada. The education budget of the institutions in Ottawa, of public institutions only, not the private ones, public institutions, right in a city of 1 million, less than 1 million people, that has more than 3 times the budget of entire country of Nepal. That's what we are talking about. Now, imagine what's happening. United States spends $1.047 trillion in education. And just the yearly increase is something about $60+ billion. So what we are talking is not even one bucket in the ocean, That's what we are talking about. Just it is that same thing, how we connect that giver and the taker, and how it can be developed in such a trustworthy environment that the giver that has plenty, just when they are giving a tiny bit, it is going to be bringing profound change. That is the whole idea.